Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me. It looks like I had poor connectivity for like a second, but then it flashed back on the screen. Don't you love that? Only I get to see those things, but it makes me sound crazy when I talk about them. Not crazy, well, maybe a little crazy. Today, I want to talk a little bit about intentional creation. I need, and a lot of us need, to be a lot more intentional in what we create and what we put out in the universe. Last year, I spent a lot of time and energy just creating content, trying to figure out what was my voice, who am I, what do I want to share, what am I going to talk about. It was kind of all about me. Not a good way to try to approach an online world or online business, or any business for that matter, online or off. Our businesses and our lives actually should really be, well, our personal life and our life should be all about experiencing this life as only we uniquely can and about being ourselves. That is my belief. If you don't believe it, then you don't have to listen to me. Don't follow me. But that comes through in just about everything I do and say, is because that's my belief. That is my core belief, that we are all here for a reason. We're all here to be ourselves. And by being ourselves, we give other people permission to be themselves. We all get to decide what we like, what we want, what we choose for ourselves. We don't get to choose for other people, but we do get to choose for ourselves. And we get to create the life that we want based on the choices that we make. And our choices are going to be different than anybody else's choices. And other people don't have to agree with them. They're our choices. It's our life. We get to decide. So I want to be more intentional this year going forward about what it is I create, what I'm sharing, and who I'm sharing it with in my online businesses and my online world. This episode, or this daily diatribe, or whatever I call it, this sharing is all about what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world and the world of offline businesses to online businesses, and how I make that transition. And part of making that transition is picking a group of people that I want to work with. It doesn't matter if other people want to work with them. It's who do I want to work with? Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to add value to? And that's different for each of us. And that's part of why there's no competition, because who I want to serve, who I want to work with, who can relate to me as a pajama grandma is very different than anybody else. And that's as it should be. It's kind of like there's enough air for all of us to breathe. Everybody on the planet's breathing, okay? People with breathing disorders notwithstanding, everybody on the planet, there's plenty of air and oxygen for all of us. We can all breathe as deeply, as fast, as often, and we can take in as much air as we want, and there's still going to be more air to breathe on the planet. Again, environmentalists, leave me alone on this. I'm trying to make a point. And the point is, there's plenty of everything, every resource, anything that any of us want, to all have exactly what we need and what we want to be happy and to create the life that we want and live the life that we want. So I want to be more intentional in what I'm creating and what I'm putting out there going forward. Again, last year was all about, well, what do I have? What do I know? What can I share? And just kind of popping that out there and randomly sharing that. And I think it was probably more valuable to me learning about myself than it was valuable to other people. And this year, I want it to be all about, how the hell can I serve you? How can I be more valuable to you? How can I be more valuable to other people? Because I already got myself covered. How can I now contribute and make the world a better place? And I know that sounds trite and silly, but I really mean it. I mean, I think we're here to be ourselves and experience our life as only we can experience it. And part of that is we experience it through relationships with other people, through the value and what we give to other people. And I've said this for a long time, even when my kids were little, you get out of anything what you put into it. Mostly that discussion was around school, because my kids didn't necessarily love school, which I never understood, because I loved school. I loved learning and I loved school. I still love learning. I think my kids love learning. I just don't think they liked the structure and the way the school system is per se. And I got to agree with them. Our school systems, and this is going to cause a lot of controversy, but our school systems suck in the United States. As a whole, there is definite room for improvement there. Now, I feel the same way about a lot of different industries and a lot of different things. So that's my prerogative. I get to have my opinions about certain things in certain industries. And our education system, our insurance industry, our healthcare system, our, the way we, oh my God, don't even get me going on the banking system or on other things like that, our financial system in this country, our political system, our religions. I could go on, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think about those things. That's not how I'm going to serve people, is sharing and spouting off my opinion on things, because it just doesn't matter. What matters is what you think and what you feel and how you feel about those things. So a couple things intentionally that I want to do this year. I want to come up with a name for this segment. I mean, I call it What's She Up To Now, but who cares? What's She Up To Now is all about me. And I don't want it to be all about me anymore. I want it to be about what am I creating moving forward to help serve you and make the world a better place and make your life better in some way, shape, or form. So what do I want to call this segment? What should we call this segment moving forward? I was going to start numbering over again this year, and I thought, no, I'm not going to. I want people to see that there isn't an overnight success in anything that we're doing. We're always striving for more. We're always striving to create ourselves and create our impact in the world. And that's never going to change. And until the day we die, we are always going to be wanting to create, wanting to do, wanting to be, wanting to have more. It's inherent in our humanity. We always want more, different, better, faster, more efficient, more effective. Those are my words. Things in our lives. We all want to have a better life experience. And so that's never going to go away. So I want to find a way to I don't want to restart. I don't want people to think that I can start over on day one. And I could start over day one any day I want. It doesn't have to be a new year. It could be any time. But I don't want to start over. I want people to know that I didn't become who I am right now, because who I am right now is very different than who I was 348 days ago, right? I am a continuously evolving, changing human being, just like you are. We're always changing and hopefully growing. If we're not changing for the better, guess what? We're deteriorating and changing for the worse. But we get to choose whether we're going to be moving up the scale or down the scale. And that scale to me is based on how we feel. I always want to be feeling better instead of worse. If I'm feeling worse, I'm not living in alignment or congruently with who I really am inside. And so then I want to move the other direction. That's kind of a side note. But my whole point is I'd like a name for this, something to do with our journey, or and I don't care, it doesn't have to have journey in it, but something that has to do with, number one, we're never done. We're always continuing to be a better person and to create things in our lives. And number two, just to share with you what's working and what's not working, because I've tried a lot of stuff in the last year and a lot of it's absolutely fallen flat and been an absolute failure. Some of it's been really successful and really helped me move in the direction I want to go. But a lot of it has been just trial and error and trying to figure it out, figuring out who I need to listen to. Mostly I need to listen to myself and my gut. And is this right for me? And if I ask myself that question, then I know what I should be getting sidetracked by or not. But I want to be a lot more intentional this year in the content that I share and the messages that I share, the stories that I tell, what I create. Because like I said, it's been haphazard in the past, and that's gotten me a little bit of results, but it definitely hasn't gotten me the results that I want and the impact that I know that I'm here to make. And so I think that means I just need to plan and be a little more intentional. So if you have any advice on how I can be more intentional, go ahead and share it with me. And by that I mean, are there areas of your business or your life that I might have some expertise and knowledge in that I can share with you? Are there problems that you're facing that I actually have faced before and that I could shed some light on for you? If there are, go ahead and message me or share in the comments below and let me know, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help in any way, shape, or form that I can. And I know that sounds very vague and non-intentional, but it's kind of intentional, because I don't want you to limit your thinking as to, well, she can only help me with my growing my business problems because that's what she does. Or she can only help me with minimizing waste or processes and systems and procedures and things like that. But we're all multidimensional beings. We've all experienced our life on all different levels. And so the older we get, the more we've experienced, the more hopefully lessons we've learned from those experiences, and the more we have to offer and share with other people. And I'm learning every single day that our lives are all about the things that we experience and how much of ourselves we put into those experiences. Because again, what we give is what we receive in return. If I give as much as I can to a situation, experience, a relationship, a business, another person, then that's what I'll get back in return. If I give 50% of my effort and my energy and my being to a thing, that's all I'm going to get back. And that goes back to the example of school. My kids, if you do the minimum to get by, you're going to get the minimum results back. If you do the minimum to get by, you might get a C or a D or an F in a class, right? The minimum to get by to me would be a C, but that's my definition. What's yours? That's what you're going to get back. But if you put forth as much energy and effort and passion and enthusiasm and curiosity as you can towards something, then that's what you're going to get back. And you're going to get that back tenfold, because what we give to something is indeed what we get back. It doesn't always feel that way, but it's kind of a universal law. And even though it doesn't always feel that way and we don't always understand the results we get back, somehow the energy of what we don't want is overriding the energy of what we do want on a conscious level. So I can say I want to build $1 million business on a conscious level, but if I'm not experiencing $1 million business in my life, then there's something running, there's some pattern running in my subconscious that's preventing that from happening in my life. Because every time we say we want something, we can instantly have that. Okay, now don't take this the wrong way. It doesn't mean I say I want $1 million a day business and I'm going to have it tomorrow. It means that that's possible for us to create. And the only reason we aren't experiencing that in our life is because something is blocking it. And that something is always us. We can blame other things outside of us, but it's never anything outside of us. It's always some resistance or some block or some false belief or something within us that's not allowing that to happen in our lives. So this year, much more intentional. And that might be my word for this year. I've been trying to think of a word for this year. Everybody asks on social media, what's your word for 2019? And I think it might be intentional, or it might be intention, or it might be intent. I don't know. It's going to be maybe something with that. And I just thought of that. So I don't know what it's going to be yet, but maybe that's it. Go out, make it a fantastic day. What are you going to do this year to create the life that you want? Share in the comments below, because I would love to know. And if I can help you with that in any way, let me know that too. Talk soon. Bye.